Hi guys, Nigel the review, Nigel's modelling bench. On this very early, it's what is it now, 1:10 on the 10th of January 2024. I can't believe I had to look to see if it's January. Duh. So yeah, basically at the moment I'm staying up very late every night, and the reason for that is little Jess. As most of you will know, little Jess has got cancer. She was given 6 months, nearly 10 months ago. So she's doing really well. Can't believe she's come this far. She's down here to my right hand side now. But basically things are starting to go slightly downhill, and she can't sort of spend, you know, more than sort of 2 or 3 hours not having a wee now. So I kind of, what I'm doing is I'm staying up very late with her. We go out every couple of hours, and then sort of 4 or 5 o'clock, whatever, I go to bed, and then I'll get up at sort of 8, and then go back to let her out, and then go back to bed and get up at 10 and let her out, and then perhaps go back to bed for an hour or just stay up, whatever. But it's bloody wearing me out. Yesterday afternoon I had a nap about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It was bloody lovely. So I might have to start doing that, sort of sleeping in shifts, or try and bring everything back a bit, so we sort of go to bed at 12 and then get up at 3, 6, 9. But it's going to be the death of me, I think. But other than that, she's absolutely fine. She's eating, she's playing, she's running around, walks, drinking. She's absolutely fine. But the vet said it might be cystitis. This is Dog Central, mind. This is not a modelling channel. Yeah, the vet said it might be cystitis, but the trouble is the drug he can give her for cystitis will help the cancer develop. So we don't want to do that. So he said what we need to do is up the actual painkiller drug I give her. The drug I give her is a painkiller for older dogs, and it actually attacks bladder cancer, and it seems to work really well. So if we up that, then that'll make her sick. So he gave me another drug to give her that would stop her being sick. So basically that made her sick. So whatever I do, it makes her sick. So we're just having to stick with what we're doing. I'm slowly up in the painkiller drugs, so that will help the cystitis apparently. And things do seem to be slightly improving, but sometimes we go out for a walk and she'll sort of coop me down every 10 feet for a quick wee. So anyway, enough about Jess. Yeah, I think things are starting to move in the wrong direction, but only very slightly, I think. So, because I know a lot of you always ask how she is and she care about it, and it's very nice of you. Thank you very much. My mum has had a couple of tests now, and she's being messed around, I think, a bit. But she's got an appointment date. I think it was the 28th or the 29th of this month. And that's with the NHS. So the private side of things messed her about a bit. So we shall see what's going on. But I'll let you know more as that goes on. But she's absolutely fine in herself, fighting fit and everything. But there's something going on inside her. So anyway, I don't know if you saw today on the 9th of January, Airfix, yeah, got the t-shirt on, it's not a coincidence. Airfix had their big announcement. I was on with Moss today live, and various other people watching the presentation live, and really gobsmacked. There's like 7 new tools coming out in the next few months. Really amazing. And they're mainly 1/72, except for one. And the one is a 1/48 scale Bristol Bulldog, which is really interesting. Very beautiful looking kit. They actually managed to find the original little microfiche drawings and work from those. And then when they scanned the actual Bristol Bulldog at Hendon, they found it didn't match up to the drawings. So they started scratching their heads and sort of looking at it. And basically it turned out the Bristol Bulldog at Hendon was involved in an accident in 1980 something and was rebuilt. But when they rebuilt it, they didn't have drawings. So this basically backs up what I'm always saying, you know, do not trust restorations, drawings. You know, photographs and blueprints are really about all you should be trusting, particularly when it comes to colours of stuff. So yeah, bear that one in mind. So yeah, 1/48 Bristol Bulldog, I will probably build that. It does look very nice. They've got a brand new tool, 1/72 scale B24 bomber coming out. That's the Liberator. So that looks really nice, and that's going to be very interesting to see. They've also got a new 72nd scale Chinook. So there's a lot. The Chinook's been sort of quite a widely covered subject in that scale, but it looks like they've really got it off with a crisp quite a nice crisp tooling. Starter sets, we've got a P51, I'm sure there was a Spitfire, there was a 109 and also a Lifeboat. So the starter sets are, I was wrong. I've always said that I think they should do 148 starter sets because I was always of the opinion that they put their smaller, cheaper kits in a box with some paints and called it a starter set, which is how things used to be, I believe. But it's different now. They actually engineer kits to be a simple build. So Moss is going to send me one, I think, and I can do a video review and we'll see how that looks and how it goes together because yeah, apparently they are absolutely aimed at beginners, so that's going to be really good to see. And they were saying today, because Dale and I think it was Matt came on, and they were talking about how they simplify things and make sort of complete assemblies in one piece rather than have lots of separate parts. And I'm sat there thinking, yeah, I know another kit like that. The Border Models Lancaster, which was obviously designed and developed by Wingnut Wings. And if you look at that kit, the right hand side of the fuselage, internally, the starboard side, from sort of the wing spar all the way down to where the nose section starts, is one piece of plastic. There's nothing goes on there. It's just one moulded piece of plastic with all that detail on it, and you just paint it. So, you know, and that's the way they've gone. And Qatari's gone the same with the Spitfire. There's a lot of moulded in detail in the fuselage or in the internal shell. You know, and you just paint it rather than have all these separate parts, and it really makes for a good looking model and you get to practice your painting skills and stuff, so it does look good. So that was very, very interesting. Next subject, Dambuster Lancasters. Some of you will be pleased to know, for my new beginner series, it's more of a newbie series rather than a beginner series. This is certainly not a kit for beginners, but for someone who's got sort of 3, 4, 5 kits or whatever under the belt and they want to have a go, I will show you how to build this properly. So this is the 2013 release. You can see it's got 70-year celebration of the Dambusters. This is the 2013 release of the Dambuster. I've always said that I think Airfix have the nicest 1/72 scale Lancaster out there, and I started building this and I absolutely, backing my own words up, it's lovely. It's really, really nice. I'm just currently filming part 3, so I need to start getting some videos out there, and I think you'll enjoy it. And if you want to build one of these with me, then go and get yourself one. It's far nicer than a Revell kit and only slightly more expensive if you look in the right places. So but that's the new tool. I believe it was a 2012 tool, 2011. Yeah, it's not the old black kit, if you remember, the old black plastic kit with the raised panel lines and everything. This has actually got recessed panel lines, and it really is lovely. It's got wonderful engineering in it with design. We've got great big wing spars and stuff in there. It's really good. So very, very nice indeed. Staying on the subject of Dambuster Lancasters, I've been speaking to Sven a lot over at One Man Army about new products coming up and everything, and what, you know, what I would like to see. And basically I asked him if he could do an add-on set for his current HK models and Border Model Lancaster sets for the Dambuster. And he said, well, what he'll do a dedicated set, because a lot of the masks in the normal B1, B3 set are all to do with the Bombay. So if you take all that away, we can have the extra time spent cutting, because when I met him at Telford, I didn't realise, but he basically bases his sets on the time it takes to cut. So, you know, if it's a small set, obviously it's not a problem, but when you've got the big sets, if you start adding everything in and you get to sort of, you know, 2 hours to cut one set, it becomes financially non-viable because people won't pay the money for it. Because remember, he's got to make it for a price, he's got to sell it for a profit, and then the distributor has to put a profit on it. So at the end of the day, you know, the price he sells it for is probably doubled by the time it gets to you with VAT and everything. So that's what he's got to consider. So yeah, what he's going to do is make a dedicated set for the Dambuster, and I've said I think we can do it for the HK and the Border model. The only place I think there may be a discrepancy is in the actual fin flash, because I haven't measured it, I must check, but I have heard something about the ratio of fin to rudder is incorrect on the HK kit. I could well be wrong, and it may be just a millimetre or something, so it won't matter, but I seem to remember reading that somewhere. It could actually be on the stabilizer rather than on the fin, so we shall see. But if that's the case, all he's got to do is include 2 sets of fin flash and mark them HK and BM, so we shall see. But the other thing he's going to do, because I asked him to sort of put lots of different choices in there for your registration codes, so he's going to give us 4 different codes. So you have like AJG, you know, ED913, AJT, ED825, that sort of thing. So I'm going to do a poll somehow. I don't know if it'll be a poll or if I'll do it in the end of the video or whatever, but I'll basically ask a question, and I want you to vote for which number you'd like, which letter, which suffix you'd like to see, and then obviously going along with that suffix will be the registration code. So you'll have, like, for example, you'll have the mask for AJ twice, and obviously that's going to be common for all of them, and then you'll get your roundel, that's common for all of them, and then you'll have a choice of 4 or maybe 6 different suffix codes. So you'll have T, C, W, G, whatever you guys choose, and then the relevant ED code to go with it. And what I've suggested to Sven is perhaps do ED, then have the 3 different numbers as one mask, and then have the /G as one mask, and sort of provide a box, so you can put the box on the fuselage and then lay in the ED, and then lay in the correct number, and then lay in the /G if you want to put that in. So I think it'll work out really well. So we'll talk about that one, and I will let you know what's coming with that one. And also staying with Dambuster Lancasters, I've been in touch with Haset. As you know, Haset are doing the Dambuster Lancaster as a part works. I've actually got part 1. I got it from Tesco's because it was $1.99. So I've got that, and I'm not sure whether I should do it or not. What I'd like is, for the time and effort I put into the videos, I would like Haset to give me the set to build, which is what Diego Stini are doing with the Mustang, and maybe they will. I've emailed them. I've had a reply from the customer service agent, and she has said that basically she's passed my email on to the relevant people. I've heard nothing back, and that was like a week ago. So mind you, it's a funny time now in that aspect. A lot of people were still off until yesterday. So and I doubt they feel much like doing much when they've got back to work yesterday, having a couple of weeks off. So so yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens, to see if they do that. If not, I may well buy it. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I think it looks like a great model because it's all motorized and got moving features and everything, and it's on a stand sat there above the dam and all that, and I think it would look great with a bit of paint and a bit of weathering and stuff. I think it would look really good. It's 32nd scale, so it's going to be a big old beast. And I don't know, let me know in the comments below if you think I should do it or not. Like, if they don't want to, you know, if they don't want to work with me, then shall I buy it? Shall I do it? It's over £1,000, I believe. So let me know. But the thing is, I say with these, you know, people always say, oh, it's too expensive, but I always think of it as like going to the pub. Okay, if you want a 1/32nd scale Lancaster in your life, you've got to shell out £400 or £600 to have it. Okay, now a lot of people don't have £400 or £600 to shell out, and particularly their partner wouldn't allow them to shell out £400 or £600, but they might not mind them spending £11 every fortnight on it. So it's a bit like going to the pub. Can you imagine if you went to the pub on the first week of January? Say you go to the pub every weekend on a Friday and a Saturday night, and you have 5 pints, or you spend 50 quid over those 2 nights every weekend. Can you imagine if you walked in the pub on the Monday night and the landlord said £2.5 grand? On, you know, not the Monday night, the first of January, and he wants £2.5 grand off you. You'd be like, sod off, I ain't giving you that. And it's the same sort of thing. You go to the pub and spend 50 quid a week because you can afford it. But if they asked you for £2.5 grand up front, you'd probably struggle. So that's the way I look at it. And when people say it's a lot of money, yes, it is a lot of money, but it's spread over a very long time, so you don't sort of notice it. Yeah. And I think that's how it works. But yeah, let me know in the comments below if you think I should get it or not, even if they don't want to sponsor me. Talking about comments, I'd just like to comment about some comments. I had somebody today commented, because you know I've done quite a few reviews lately, and somebody commented, I wish you'd do some builds. All you ever do is reviews. Sorry. You obviously don't watch my channel very much. So I had a quick look. And as you will know, I did last year, 2023, I put out 360 videos. Okay. And of that 360, 172, there's 160 definite and there's a 12 sort of dubious. But say 172 out of 360, so it's nearly 50%, are build videos. They're either builds or how-tos, you know, the beginner stuff and all that. So yeah, I was absolutely gobsmacked. And then you think the other videos, you got stuff like this where I do my monthly, so that's 12. So I do a monthly, I sometimes do one mid-month, so that's probably 18. And then there's, you know, the book reviews I do, and all sorts of other reviews on aftermarket and everything. And this guy's complaining that I don't do any builds. So I as you know, all the comments that I made on my channel are held for review. So you guys don't see everybody's comments. So if there's something rude or whatever, then I don't show it. If it's really rude, I report it to YouTube. But yeah, so I just delete them and you don't see them. The other thing I've got is being told I'm doing it wrong. And it's not just saying to me, you've got that wrong, you should have done this and this. It's warning, you know, he's got this wrong and you shouldn't have done that. And this is the way it should be done. Well, actually, no. If you look on the Facebook page for the Border Model Lancaster, there are a million, I'm going to say a million, it's not that many, a million comments that say, couldn't have done this without knowledge, thank you very much for your help with the instructions. And then I'm being told, well, everybody's being warned that I'm doing it wrong, so be careful. It's like, can't win. So I'm not doing it wrong. If you think I'm doing it wrong, don't put a comment on one of my videos to tell me I'm doing it wrong. Message me and say, look, I think you've got that wrong, and let's have a discussion about it. And if you are going to say I'm doing it wrong, at least have the courtesy to watch the video, okay? Because you're clearly not watching the video before you make your comment. And, you know, it's really frustrating when you get something like I've just done the B17, and probably 4 times in that video, I've said that this is currently on sale at Haset's, normally £409, third off, it's only 273 quid, and that's from Haset's. And then somebody will put a comment, so then, dude, how much is it and where can I get it from? And you're like, why do I bother? What is the point? Really? You know, it's like, come on. So, yeah, just, you know, if you're going to knock me on my channel, don't do it on my channel. Go and do it somewhere else. Carry on doing it on my channel and I'll just block you. Then you won't be able to comment at all. So sounds like a threat. It's not, but it's just a fact. I haven't got time for it. I'm not interested in listening to people tell me I'm doing something wrong if I'm not doing it wrong. And if I am doing it wrong, then debate. Don't just say you're doing it wrong. Because unless you've got something to back it up, then I'm not interested. If you remember, my Border Model Dambuster Lancaster came with broken clear parts. I was absolutely amazed. I discovered the clear parts during the video, if you remember, and I stopped the video and went and emailed Haset's while I was making the video. Later that day, I got a reply come back from Haset's, and what they'd done, they'd sent the email I'd sent with the photographs. They'd sent that to Albion, who are the UK importers for Border Model. And Albion came back to me the next day, or later that day, I can't remember now, it was very quick, and said, really sorry about this. Border Model should have sent us some spare clear sprues with the kit, but they haven't. So basically what we will do, as soon as they come in, they've actually FedExed them over to the UK. As soon as they come in, we'll send you one. So thank you very much. And then just after New Year, I got an email saying the parts are in. We can send you your sprue tomorrow. Blah, 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 blah. And next day it came. So I was really chuffed with that. It was great service. So thank you very much for that, Albion. So we've now got we've got 2 now of the new canopy. So that's really handy because I've now got 4. I've got that one there, I've got the one I'm building, I've got the dam buster, and I've got the nose kit. So we've got 4 border model Lancasters that all need nice canopies, and I've got 2, so that'll be handy. And just one other thing before I go. If anybody out there has one of those, the border model Lancaster nose that they want to sell, if it's damaged, if it's started, whatever, please let me know, because I want to have a go and see if that can be fitted to the Hong Kong models Lancaster. Because as we all know, the cockpit detail on the Hong Kong models Lancaster is nothing like the cockpit detail in that one. Now, I don't just want to fit the nose, because obviously that one's got raised rivet detail and it's got stressed skin. The Hong Kong models Lancaster has no stressed skin and recessed rivets, so it looked really weird if you just planted that on the front. But what I'm wondering is if where the nose section joins off, where the windscreen comes to a point, just underneath there, you've got a line around the fuselage, and that's where the nose section actually joins the fuselage. And I'm wondering if I can cut that off of that, cut the HK models one off, and then graft that onto the HK models kit and have all the interior from the border models kit and the canopy and the internal framing and everything. And then we can also put the turret from the border models kit, because we know the turret on the border models kit is a lot nicer than the Hong Kong models one. A lot more difficult to build, a lot more flashy, a lot more cleanup, and probably takes 4 times longer to build. But at the end of the day, you end up with a nicer product. But if you're not a skilled modeler, I've said this on countless occasions, if you're not a really up-to-date skilled modeler, you're much better off with the Hong Kong models kit. But yeah, I want to see if I can graft that into the Hong Kong models, so you end up with a really nice nose turret and a lovely cockpit interior. So let me know in the comments if any of you have got one of those. You're probably thinking, why don't I just use that one? The lovely Wendy bought me that, and the lovely Wendy bought me that one up there as well, the Takum kit there. But the lovely Wendy bought me that, and I do not want to cut that one up. That was a special gift. I need to build that as a special showpiece. I don't want to be cutting that one up. So yeah, let me know if you've got one. I'd be really interested in buying it. And finally, some great news. I had a message yesterday from Neil of Hong Kong Models, and the A20J/K rate for it /RAF Boston Mark IV, yes, you're going to get an RAF option in that box, is inbound. So I should have that. He said he'd be sending it as soon as the new box lid comes or something. So I should have that in, I'm guessing, a week, 10 days. So as soon as it lands, it will be fresh out the postman's hand and on the bench, and you'll see it here. So and I think you'll see it here first, so that should be really nice. And I'm really looking forward to that. What I want to do, if you remember, if you look on the bottom left hand corner of the instructions on any HK kit, it says in association with AK, and it used to say large scale modeler. I would love to see on there in association with AK and Nigel's modelling bench with my little logo. So that would be really interesting. That would be great. So yeah, so that kit is inbound. So really, really good. He's asked me a few things about it. He's made a few corrections from the A20G. So that's really, really good. He does listen. It's nice to see. If you notice, he's made corrections to the B17F. He's made corrections to the Lancasters. So it looks like Neil's a pretty sound guy, really. And yeah. So there we go. Thank you for watching. Keep your eyes open for a poll or a question or something, so you can vote for what we end up with on the Dam Buster Lancaster. So without further ado, let's say goodbye, and I'll see you all soon. And as I say, I've got lots of build videos lined up to come out, and they'll all be out, and hopefully I can keep making build videos in the meantime. So to the gentleman who commented me today, go back and have a look over the last week. I think you'll find there's about 4 or 5 videos going out this week, or 3 at least, for builds. So yeah, it's generally one a day. So a video a day, that is, not a build video a day. Right, see you all soon. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.